welcome to the Wayfinder News Network, all Wayfinder all the time. We are looking at an airport AMA from Solid Age on October 26, 2023, put together by Saro-san, and all names are anonymous. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into the first question, which is, will there ever be a fix for videos not being viewable on the Steam Deck? The answer is that right now, if you swap to 81.3, it's believed it does work. It'll be fixed in future Proton versions in the near future. Getting the game Steam Deck verified is on our radar, just comes down to time. The next question is, any update on masteries still resetting for a very specific group of people? And the answer is that so some of these are actual visual bugs and some are actually broken. They're working on a fix in the next update and they'll have a few of them in that fix. I can't remember which ones they are though, to be honest, is what was answered. The next question is, will we get an option to run Lost Zones hunts at a higher power level for getting more sets at level 30 plus? And so the answer to that is that they will be introducing Mythic, which was formerly known as Heroic dungeon tiers that will have their own drop tables. And now I wonder if they will have higher level gear as well that goes beyond epic level. Will we get legendary, unreal, unique? That's Mythic, maybe, Heroic? We'll have to wait and see. Question, why'd you change the difficulty name from Heroic to Mythic? And that was to not get confused with Heroic Wayfinders. I guess they don't want people to think that they'll be able to get Heroic Wayfinders from running these heroic dungeons. The punchy claw weapons will be coming when? Well, they're well underway on the next weapon. It isn't a fifth weapon though, but never say never. Next we have a bit of an oddball question, but which boss has claimed the most lives of players so far? And no, gravity doesn't count. Well, I think the lame answer here is Spider Queen, since she's the first boss that we hit in the tutorial, and they'd have to get data on the others. Does this new mid-season update mark the end of the current chapter, assuming the first is chapter 1 and the Reaver King is chapter 2, with the new one starting with season 2? Well, I wouldn't say that the current chapter is over. They do hope in the future for serialized content, but they don't think that Founder Season 2 is the start of that. The next question is, will the mid-season update 2 change anything regarding XP gain, or will it remain the same the way it is now until we can start utilizing scrolls? And they know it's a pain in the butt now, but the scroll system will not be with the second mid-season update. The update is around content and not systems. We'll get XP scrolls up closer to Season 2, so we can expect that towards the end of November, early December, if everything is moving right, and that is the goal that they have in mind for when Season 2 will drop. Are there any crossovers in the work? And the answer is yep. So we know for sure that there will be a crossover with Digital Extremes and Warframe, and there'll possibly be one with Battle Chasers because they own the IP for Battle Chasers. Now, any other crossovers like Darksiders, they'd have to get the permission from THQ because they own the IP for that game. Will crafted accessories relics be made more useful in the future? And they say honestly, they do not know. There's some level 30 ones in there in the crafted relics area. You have to kind of look for them, and they are part of a set, so I guess those can be kind of useful. But overall, crafted relics are pretty trash. How many new official Wayfinder heroes do you think you've seen concept art for by now? And they say probably 5. I mean, I've seen tons of random sketches, but as far as this is going to be a character 100% sure, it's probably 5. Next question. In the latest blog post, there's mention of an event featuring a special vendor. Can we expect anything cosmetic in there? Yes, that vendor will sell specific housing and cosmetic items. Now I wonder what the currency for that vendor will be. Will it be gloom shards? Will it be coins to get rid of some of these coins? Will it be echo dust to get rid of some of that echo dust? Because a lot of players have accumulated a lot of that stuff during the dusting selling phase that we had to go through after everybody had their stuff locked down to a certain amount of accessories and echoes. So this could be a way to get rid of this extra gold that people have in their inventory. Hopefully it's not too much to where people that don't have that much gold will have to suffer and farm gold like crazy, which isn't really terribly hard to do. It's just kind of annoying. So let's go ahead and go on to the, wait a minute. Hold on, I have something here. Somebody is commenting out in the field. Let's go over to them. Hello, yes, there's reports that the bones will be a mine-wide resource. As you see, there's a lot of bones here in the mines. I'm standing next to a really large bones here right now. As you can see, bones all over the place. But this is going to become a zone-wide resource, meaning that as we kill enemies and mine things, we'll be picking up bones instead of having to wait for that event to spawn. As far as the Trickster coin goes, it sounds like from the adventurers that have come through the mines as I stand here, somehow surviving this terrible, terrible place, that Trickster coins will be tied to a location and not an event. So we'll always be able to find the Trickster in one spot without having to hope he spawns. Now, hopefully that also means that the coins will become less rare and more obtainable, seeing that we need so many of them to proceed and unlock characters. Get me out of here, back to you. Well, that's good news there. Very interesting to see that we'll have bones becoming more accessible to everybody, and that we'll actually get the Trickster to be in a solid state all the time. With that said, going on, we're going to continue with these questions and answers, but if you haven't yet, think about hitting that subscribe button and like the video. Moving on, will the Wax Wayfinder level always stay at 30? And that is going to be for now. It could change. Is there any possibility of a new UI that displays the drops for the specific location, like the one seen on ArtStation? And yes, what you saw in the ArtStation is actually a concept for this. We jokingly called it Wayfinder Vision for a while, where you see what you can get in a specific run. We're working towards a version of that. Not sure where it lives, but it's planned. And you guys should see that image up on the screen as I went over that question. AP, which is ability power, feels heinously underwhelming in comparison to pure weapon builds. Any internal talk you can release on how build variety will be extended or empowered? Well, they do know that they're discussing in general a decent revisit on all the abilities, and that will most likely include flat AP. The next question goes on to ask if there's talks of a shared space for guilds besides neighborhoods. And while that would be rad, right now, it's just neighborhoods. Guild neighborhoods are going to be a spot where guilds can be guilds. Will it be possible to unlock everything in the archetype skill tree, and will it be for the whole archetype or just the specific character? Well, we won't be able to unlock everything in the archetype tree. Every archetype has the same tree layout, but each character manages their own separately. So if you're archetype level 12 with War Masters, your level 30 Wingrave and your level 1 Grendel will each have 12 points they can spend in their own trees and can make different choices on each. Now, this is probably the first time a lot of you guys are hearing about this skill tree system and archetypes. If you go into the roadmap, you'll see a lot of things that they're working on coming up in the future with detailed explanations on how a lot of that's going to work. But as you can see now, each of these archetypes is going to have their own skill trees, so there will be some build variety that people will be able to play around with. Of course, that's not going to stop everybody from having some kind of meta build going on, but I, as a player, do not like to follow the meta. I like to do what I think is best for my own playstyle. And maybe that might end up being the meta, and maybe it won't. And I suggested you guys do the same for a while. Do you have a rough ratio of PC to PS player numbers? And they're saying it's almost 1-to-1. Question, Necromancer Wayfinder? Answer, they'll say that we have a design for a character that I feel looks like a Necromancer, but isn't. We're gonna get Greymorn? Question, we saw in ArtStation you could build houses. Could we see potentially build our own house after housing will is fully implemented? Well, I believe that was a very old design and that is not currently planned. Now, what new feature are you most excited about being a possibility that currently isn't on the Trello? Well, the answer is one of those items you can get for the new event is a brand new type of housing decoration that does something that, let's say, it's just a vibe. Question, in response to the above, will it play all of the OST? And the answer is no, but a jukebox is coming, even though they don't know when. Question, Ice Daggers when? Answer, I actually do not know. See, the Ice Daggers were another thing from the ArtStation. I'll have a picture of that up as well. When Pyre going to explode properly and not just T-pose? Well, answer to that is hopefully soon. They don't know if he's one of the 150 plus fixes they have coming up. They're focused right now on performance and fixing outstanding issues that are blockers for people. Pyre T-posing is something that will be fixed, but is one of those things that is low on the total on the list. Will there be any dye packs coming? Yes, and weapon dyes. Will the glasses in your profile pic be a cosmetic? If I ran the store, they would be. And I have a pair of these glasses right here. They're not very expensive. Everybody should buy themselves a pair. And the next time you meet Solid Age, wear your glasses. Is one of those 150 plus fixes going to make Venomous players upset? Enter, I had to go look, but seems like there is a bug fix resulting in a buff and a nerf. I wonder what that nerf is going to be. Will new abilities for Wayfinder be introduced later to deepen the combat system? They will at the archetype level. Do you know the time frame when some of the drop rate changes will come? There are some drop rate changes planned and some expanding of how to get resources. I don't have a specific timeline though. Does Airship Syndicate ever host stupid office contests like hot sauce challenges, etc.? Well, apparently they did an RC car rally, and guess who won? Solid Age. They also have a costume contest planned this week, and yeah, we do tons of stuff. I hope we get to see those costumes. I know it's just something silly on the side that has nothing to do with the game, but it's fun for community growth and building to see how goofy these costumes will look. I'm glad you guys are having so much fun in the office despite the weeks of hell the game started off in. Gotta roll with it, can only be humble about where we are and discuss where we are going. Hey Jay, you're a big old gamer. What's the next big title you're excited for and why? Well, he says, I don't know. Everything I was excited for came out already. I do want to play Alan Wake 2 even though I didn't finish the first one. Yes, this is the end of the year. We're not seeing a lot of games starting to release. They'll all be out at the beginning of next year. We do have the next Call of Duty coming out, but that's not really like a big game. It's Call of Duty. I mean, it's a big game, but not like a big game. You know what I'm saying? Turtlesaur baby as a pet for housing. Would love to. Turtlesaur plush as an actual physical item that people could buy. That's an idea. Pinball minigame Easter egg within the Sphere choice menu win. We love to do something like this, just need to get the game in a technically better spot than where it is. Team is working every day to do that. Solid, have you ever rage quit or broke a controller? He actually has. For SOCOM 2. Now if you don't know, SOCOM 2 was an online-only game that PlayStation had, and you had to, shoot people. It was like a tactical Rainbow Six type of game. Now, I'm surprised they haven't brought that game back in the newer generations, because that was a really big seller for a lot of the consoles and the games. People really loved SOCOM, and they have tournaments off of it. Such an easy win for Sony. How many skins are ready to be released right now? There are 6 amazing personas ready to come out in Founder Season 2. Will there be more open world areas like Highlands with world bosses? Yes. Could you tell us if we can be able to equip our level 39 accessories with the first part of the archetype system? And the answer to that is no. What kind of questions and answers would you have liked to see? Put those down in the comments below. As we know, Sir Snarf likes to hit the comments from time to time, and maybe he will answer your question for you down there below. Not to put all that on Sir Snarf, but I'm going to put all that on Sir Snarf. With that said, guys, make sure you like this video and come back when we have more information on Wayfinder here on the Wayfinder News Network. Peace.